All right, everybody. Today we're putting two wireless CarPlay adapter options head to head, the Ottocast Mini and the Torvo 2-in-1 wireless CarPlay adapter. We've spent time using both of them in real-world driving situations, testing Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, phone calls, music streaming, navigation, connection stability, and overall usability. And honestly, while both of these adapters get the job done, there are definitely some differences that become obvious once you start living with them every day. So let's get into it. Starting with the unboxing experience, the two products actually give off very different first impressions. The Ottocast Mini keeps things simple and practical. Inside the box, you get the adapter itself, a USB extension adapter, a USB-A to USB-C adapter, and the user manual. Everything is organized nicely and feels focused on functionality. The Torvo takes a different approach. Right away, the packaging feels a little more premium than what we're used to seeing in this category. The adapter comes inside a wooden presentation box with clean branding and a straightforward user manual. You also get a USB-A to USB-C converter included, which is always nice because it means you're ready regardless of what type of port your vehicle uses. Packaging doesn't affect performance, obviously, but first impressions do matter, and Torvo definitely gives off a more polished feel from the moment you open the box. Looking at the physical design, both adapters are compact enough to disappear into your dashboard once installed. The Ottocast Mini is small, almost thumb-sized, with a matte black finish that looks clean and modern. It doesn't attract fingerprints and blends in nicely with most interiors. It also includes a physical button on top that's supposed to help manage device connections. The Torvo adapter takes a slightly different direction. Instead of plastic construction, it uses a metal housing finished in a bright orange color that definitely stands out more. Now, some people might prefer the stealthy look of the Ottocast, but from a practical standpoint, we actually like the metal housing. We've tested enough small electronics over the years to know that heat management can make a big difference when devices are sitting inside a hot vehicle for hours. Metal naturally dissipates heat more effectively than plastic, and that's something we kept in mind throughout testing. Of course, none of that matters if the connection experience isn't good, so let's talk about setup. The Ottocast Mini is straightforward. Plug it into your vehicle's CarPlay-enabled USB port, wait a few seconds for the startup screen, pair your phone through Bluetooth, and you're ready to go. During our testing, the startup process was reasonably fast, with CarPlay launching typically within a few seconds. Once connected, everything felt responsive. Scrolling through apps, opening navigation, and switching between screens felt smooth and natural. The Torvo follows almost the exact same process. Plug it in, turn on Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, connect to the smart box device, and you're up and running. What stood out to us here was just how quickly the adapter seemed to boot and establish a connection. There wasn't much waiting around, and within moments we were looking at the CarPlay interface, ready to go. Once connected, both adapters perform well for everyday CarPlay use. Apple Maps worked properly, music streaming remained stable, and voice calls came through clearly. Like virtually every wireless CarPlay adapter we've tested, there is a tiny amount of latency compared to a direct wired connection, but honestly, it's minor enough that most people will never notice it during normal driving.
Switching over to Android Auto, both adapters continued to perform well. The Ottocast Mini delivered sharp visuals, responsive controls, and stable audio playback. Navigation worked properly, and Android Auto actually felt slightly quicker than CarPlay in some scenarios. The Torvo also handled Android Auto without any drama. Connection was quick, navigation remained smooth, music playback was responsive, calls came through without noticeable audio issues. Throughout testing, both platforms felt stable, which is exactly what we want to see. One area worth discussing is multi-device management. The Ottocast Mini includes that physical button we mentioned earlier. At first glance, it sounds like a convenient way to switch between phones. However, in actual use, it's not quite as seamless as we'd hoped. To connect another phone, we often found ourselves disabling Bluetooth on the first device before establishing a new connection. It works, but the process feels slightly less elegant than the button initially suggests. Meanwhile, Torvo keeps things simple with automatic reconnection behavior. One feature we really appreciated was how reliably it automatically connected when the paired phone came back into range. Whether we were using an iPhone or an Android device, the process felt consistent and predictable. That's the kind of thing you don't necessarily notice during the first day of ownership, but after weeks of use, it becomes something you genuinely appreciate. Now let's talk about something that a lot of reviews completely ignore: heat. Wireless adapters live inside vehicles. Vehicles get hot, sometimes extremely hot. We've seen plenty of adapters start acting strange once temperatures climb, especially during summer months. The Ottocast Mini actually performed pretty well here. Even after extended drives, it remained relatively cool and never became concerningly hot. That's definitely a positive. But the Torvo's metal construction seems to pay dividends in this area. Throughout testing, heat buildup remained impressively controlled. Even after prolonged use, temperatures stayed surprisingly manageable. We didn't notice any signs of thermal throttling, connection instability, or performance degradation. Long-term reliability is always difficult to judge immediately, but from a thermal perspective, the Torvo left a strong impression. So, after spending time with both adapters, where do we stand? The Ottocast Mini is a solid wireless adapter. It's compact, easy to install, supports both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and generally delivers reliable performance. The connection speed is respectable, audio quality is good, and the overall experience is a noticeable upgrade over using a cable every day. Our main criticism is that device switching feels a little less polished than we'd like, and some users may find themselves adjusting settings to get everything dialed in perfectly. The Torvo 2-in-1 wireless CarPlay adapter, on the other hand, impressed us with its simplicity. The metal build feels more substantial, connection performance was consistently strong, heat management was excellent, and the overall experience required very little effort from us. It simply connected, stayed connected, and did its job without demanding attention. At the end of the day, both of these adapters solve the same problem. They eliminate the cable clutter and bring wireless convenience to vehicles that didn't come with it from the factory. If you're already invested in the Ottocast ecosystem, the Mini is still a capable option, but if we were choosing purely based on day-to-day convenience, stability, and overall refinement, we'd probably give a slight edge to the Torvo. Not because it dramatically outperforms the Ottocast in any single category, but because it consistently felt a little easier to live with. Anyway, that's our comparison of the Ottocast Mini and the Torvo 2-in-1 wireless CarPlay adapter. We're curious to hear from you guys. Are you still plugging your phone in every day, or have you already made the jump to wireless? Let us know down in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more reviews on the gear that actually makes driving better. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace!